break, C.J. Wilson has been very tough to beat. In fact, he's won both of his starts, allowing just one earned run total. Last Friday, he never looked better, shutting down the Angels on just 4 hits. Tonight, against the Oakland A's, C.J. Wilson looking for win number 10. Coming up right now on Fox Sports Southwest. Ranger pitching has been the theme of this series so far, and C.J. Wilson out there tonight going for his 10th win on a very nice night for baseball. It's the finale of the 3-game series, the Rangers and the second-place Oakland A's. We welcome you to Texas Ranger Baseball along with Tom Grieve. I'm Josh Lewin. The big news of the night, the Rangers have hooked themselves a Marlin. They've got Jorge Cantu now.
Well, you know, the Rangers identified their needs about 2 weeks ago, and about every 5 days, they address one of them. Right-handed hitter who can play first base, Jorge Cantu. He's been a good, solid, middle-of-the-order guy, makes good contact, drives and runs, great addition to the ball club.
Maybe he comes up and plays some second base, but not right away. Ian Kinsler is on the DL. He, of course, is the All-Star Rangers second baseman. He's eligible to come back on August 12th. But for right now, Mitch Moreland's tag is a roster move. He's going to play first base.
Yeah, Mitch Moreland is a good minor league player for the Rangers. He's come up through the system. He got off to a slow start this year, but he's been swinging the bat at well over a 300 pace for about his last 50 games. Got a shot to play first base tonight.
The Tom Grieve Minor League Player of the Year in the Rangers organization last year. Joaquin Arias will play second base tonight. We'll see who's going to be there at second base in the future. Rangers and the A's are next. $14.99 plus tax. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. What a thrill for Mitch Moreland. Like Ian Kinsler, a 17th round draft pick. He is replacing Kinsler on the roster for now. The Rangers will have to decide who they want to go forward with. At first base is a left-hand swinger, Chris Davis or Mitch Moreland. Looks like Jorge Cantu will start out as a right-handed complement at first base, if nothing else. Again, the possibility exists. Cantu could play some second base. He's also been playing some third. He could DH. A lot of things he can do. Let's talk Oakland, though, off the top. The A's batting order, Chris Davis and Suzuki. Kuzminoff, Rosales, and Ellis. Landon Powell, Matt Carson, Cliff Pennington for an Oakland team that is 7.5 behind the Rangers with about 60 games to go. And we scout out C.J. Wilson.
Well, the 20 starts have gone very well. His last two have been absolutely terrific. Very different, but terrific. They've only slugged opponents' hitters, .297 against him. His last 6 starts at home have gone well. His last start was a gem. That was 8 innings against the Angels without a walk and with 3 strikeouts. Start before that, he had 5 walks and 10 strikeouts. An equally dominating game, but entirely different in the way he did it. One thing you'll see in the A's lineup tonight, all right-hand hitters. Barton, Cust, Gross, Watson all have the night off because lefties just don't hit him very well.
They start the righty, Coco Crisp, and he drives it to left, but there's David Murphy squinting through the sunshine. Hamilton's out there with him tonight. Hambone playing center, Nelson Cruz in right. And again, with Kinsler on the DL, it's a different look at second, and obviously a way different look at first as Mitch Moreland is here. Taylor Teagarden provides not necessarily a new look. We've seen it before, but it's just been a while since we've seen Taylor behind home plate. And Ian Kinsler trying to smile through the pain of a strained groin. Actually, no one smiles through their groin. That probably came out really incorrectly there. But point being, Kinsler is out for a couple of weeks, and the Rangers have plenty of different things they can do to mix and match. And again, what they decide to do with Jorge Cantu, I think is going to be a fascinating little study coming up here, Tom. John Daniels was meeting the media about an hour ago.
One thing about Cantu, I doubt very much that they traded for Cantu to hit only against left-handed pitching. This guy's been an everyday player for the last few years. He's driven in 100 runs. He's hit 29 home runs in a different year. He's about a 270, 280 hitter. Oh, I would be surprised if he's not in the lineup on a fairly regular basis.
John Daniels said the fact that he has played second base is, in his words, an attractive footnote. But they were interested in Cantu long before Kinsler hurt his groin.
Yeah, I think at this stage of Cantu's career, his best position is probably first base.
He's played only 2 games at second base since 2007. But originally made the Tampa Bay Rays back when they were the Devil Rays as their starting second baseman. So we'll see. Ron Washington will work him out at second, see what he thinks. Davis cranks one into left field, a base hit, when he continues to dominate the Rangers. Standing up with a double. 17 of the last 18 games he's played against the Rangers, he's got a hit.
He got off to a slow start this year, but he's picked it up. He's got his average up over 275 now, and he had been moved down to the bottom of the lineup for quite a while, and now with the way he's swinging his bat, they've moved him up to the top of the lineup, where he is a force if he's on base because he can run.
Yep, 30 steals, only the 5th Oakland player ever to have 2 different 30 steal seasons. Now, Kurt Suzuki broke a scoreless tie in the game yesterday. Jumped on a slider from Colby Lewis. There goes Davis for third. No throw from Taylor Teagarden. That's number 31 for Davis.
Yeah, you have to be aware of him at second base. And I don't know that C.J. was aware that that was a possibility because he basically had that base stolen right off the bat. Doesn't have a real big lead when C.J. looks at him, but the minute C.J. turns, he takes off. And it didn't matter if Taylor bobbled that or not. He was not going to throw Davis out.
Infield plays back for now. Suzuki, the leading Oakland hitter in terms of home runs. And that is not a home run, but it is Murphy fighting the sun. He's going to make the catch off his shoe tops. It goes as a sac fly, and that's 12 runs batted in for Suzuki in his last 12 games. And remember, CJ got all the way through the start against the Angels, allowing no runs. Tonight he trails by 1 in the first inning.
That was good base running by Davis. When CJ checked him, he didn't have a very big lead. And what a pitcher after that happened will do to counteract that is he'll look more than once. And Davis took off. The minute CJ turned toward home plate, he took off.
They're going to appeal to see if he left early. And apparently not. Kuzmanov takes up too high. Yep, that's why they called it the way they called it. Towards the alley in right center. Josh Hamilton won't be able to get there. It's going to bounce up against the Kia sign. Kuzmanov has been hitting a ton since the All-Star break. He's in there with the second Oakland double of the inning.
Both of the doubles have been hit hard. Davis ripped his double to left field, and Kuzmanov goes to right center and hit this ball with authority.
Now remember, CJ didn't allow an extra base hit the entire game against the Angels last time out, but now 2 doubles in the first inning tonight.
And he didn't throw too many pitches where he threw that last pitch either. That pitch was right down the middle of the plate. And against the Angels, he just wore out the left side of the plate, whether it was a left-hand hitter getting a pitch inside or a right-hand hitter getting a pitch away. One right after another, right on the corner. But that one was in the center of the plate. Kuzmanov jumped on it.
It was staggering, that last start that you mentioned, Tom. It was, we called it up here, identity theft. It's really what it looks like, or looked like that night. Cliff Lee, having already aced his way through the Angels, kind of handed that baton to CJ Wilson. He went out and out-cliffed Cliff. The exact same approach, and he won the game 1-0. Rosales behind 0-2.
Curveball from CJ right here. Good location with it too.
That was nice and easy to get through Rosales. Striking him out on 3 pitches, but some damage done on a couple of doubles and a sac fly. Andrews coming in to hit the Rangers, down 1-0. right here. It's Andrus, Young, and Hamilton. Guerrero, Cruz, and Murphy, and then it gets a little different. Joaquin Arias in for the injury, and Kinsler at second. Mitch Moreland makes his big league debut at first base. Taylor Teagarden, with only one hit in the majors this year, spent most of the year at Double-A Frisco. And for the Oakland A's on the mound, boy, they don't have any dinosaurs on this team at all, Mr. Grieve. They've got a bunch of young kids. Vin Mazzaro is one of them, only 23.
He's had 10 starts, and he's pitching really well right now. In his last 5 starts, he's 4-0. Opponents have only hit .202 against him. He's only given up a couple of home runs in his last 6 starts. That covers 41 innings. He does it with a really good fastball, solid fastball, and probably his best pitch, at least in the short sample that we've seen, has been a slider, hard slider.
That's what he said was working best for him in that last game, that 10-2 win he had against the White Sox, putting him at 6-2 for the year. Slowly hit to short. Pennington loads up. Elvis Andrus is out. A lot of ground balls yesterday from the starter Trevor Cahill, on his way to 8 innings of 2-hit baseball. I think that really was the essence of yesterday's game, too, partner. Just too much Trevor Cahill in that sinker.
Well, Trevor Cahill's not just hard for the Rangers to hit. He's the toughest pitcher in the league to hit. His opponent's batting average is 196 against everybody. So it wasn't just the case of the Rangers ran into a hot pitcher. He's been hot against everybody.
Yep, Ron Washington said he's 10-4 and an all-star for a reason. And Michael Young's a believer. He was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts yesterday. Stopped a 9-game hitting streak. Now, obviously, one adjustment in the Rangers' batting order with Kinsler on the DL. Josh Hamilton, since he's been hitting in that 5th spot, of course, it's just been unbelievable. Now he gets flipped back to where he was at the start of the year, back to number 3. And the hope is that won't affect Josh in any negative way. He's hitting behind in between 2 great hitters. Michael Young right before him, Vlad Guerrero right after him. But it does mess a bit with that dynamic. The Rangers, since June 1st, since Josh slid into that number 5 hole, they've been winning close to 65% of their games. More recently than that, the Rangers 9-4 coming out of the All-Star break. That's enabled them to get to 59-42. They've got the 7.5 game lead on the A's. 8.5 on the Angels, who are 10 behind in that loss column. Base hit, Michael Young.
Good at bat for Michael. He fouled off some tough pitches on the outside corner. Hung in there, worked the count, got one he could handle, and has himself a base hit. Inside part of the plate that
time. And now Hamilton against Mazzaro, keeping in mind that Josh is a .400 hitter against righties this year. That's the best in the majors. And again, the A's were supposed to have guys older than Vin Mazzaro out there competing for him this year. Justin Ducher, Ben Sheets. Ben was just shut down for the year officially yesterday.
There's not a team in baseball that has a better group of young starters than the A's. Brett Anderson is supposed to come back and start very soon. His ERA is .235. Cahill's is .293. Both of those kids are 22. Mazzaro's 23. His ERA is .345. Gio Gonzalez is in his mid-20s, .364. And Dallas Braden threw a perfect game of the young starters. His ERA is the highest at .377. So 5 starters, 2 of them 22 with ERAs in the 2s, and the others with ERAs in the mid-3s. I don't think you'll find a staff that can boast that kind of youth and that kind of success rate this year.
Well, you said it. Their worst guy threw a perfect game, and his ERA isn't even 4.
Yeah, and their veterans were Ben Sheets, All-Star Justin Dukeshire. They're on the disabled list. Another guy who hasn't been in the big leagues that long, has been on the disabled list for quite a while, is Josh Outman, but he's a lefty with a great arm, too. That's a very good collection of talented young pitching.
Hamilton to left field, yes, sir. Into the corner it goes. Michael Young speeds his way to third. Dave Anderson says, stop right there. And Josh Hamilton has hit safely in 37 of his last 38 games here in Arlington.
And that's the reason why. Because he uses the whole field. And he can drive the ball like he did right there, right down the left field line when the pitch is away. That's classic hitting right there. Pitch, outside corner, drive it down the left field line. It's a little closer to the middle of the plate, yet outside, he goes to right center. Middle of the plate in, goes to right center. Otherwise, the left center on the other one outside. And if he throws it inside, he pulls the ball. So that's why he's hitting 360, because he's got power from foul line to foul line.
Speaking of power, Vlad Guerrero, a grand slam last time he faced Vin Mazzaro. And perhaps wisely, Mazzaro stays well away from Vlad, who's got 20 home runs this year, including the grand slam right here against Mazzaro back in May. Mazzaro allowed only 2 hits in that game, but didn't make it past the 3rd inning because he was walking guys and seemed to be a bit thunderstruck after Vladdy hit the salami.
And walks haven't been a big problem for him, but they were that day.
Your Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, the slam of which we speak. Actually, I forgot, that was in Oakland, not here. Had a thought that, yes, he would swing 3-0. Didn't work for Kinsler the other night. Nice play down there. Huh?
Great play by the ball girl. Those balls come off that wall at a funny angle, pretty hard. She's pretty happy about that. That was a nice play.
You know, it's funny. 3-0 swing, foul ball, just like Kinsler, but the difference is this one was a grounder. A hot shot.
That's some pretty good reflexes. Well, these girls don't just sign up and say, I think I'll be a ball girl. They have played some ball, too.
They warm up the fielders in between innings. Play a little long toss at the left and right fielders.
Hey, there's probably been an occasional big league outfielder that couldn't throw as well as a couple of the girls that we've got.
Tap slowly towards short. Pennington's got it. A run's going to score. The Rangers and the A's are tied 1-1. RBI number 79 for Big Bad Vlad.
You like to answer in the first inning, especially as hard as it's been to score runs in this series. The other team gets one, it feels like a big lead. It's nice to come right back and get one and even things up.
Nelson Cruz has hit safely in 16 straight games. 17 straight games. 2-1 Texas.
And Nelly, you know, talking about Josh using the whole field, Nelly does the same thing. That's the 3rd hit that he's gotten in the last couple of days between first and second. The last 2 weren't hit that hard. That one was. That was a screaming rope into right field. Picks up that run at third. Love to see that type of hit. 2 outs, man in scoring position.
All this starting with Michael Young taking one up the middle, having worked the count. Now a first pitch swing gives the Rangers a lead.
And that's the old center square, which is about the direction of a pitch the hitter really likes to swing at. Right down the middle.
Murphy clocks one to center field. It goes to the track. Coco Crisp is there. And he's got it.
Just missed it.
The Rangers do end up with a 2 spot in the bottom of the first. They've got the lead on the A's tonight.
In Community Corner tonight, we have Robert Champagne. He is the president of C.J. Wilson's Children's Charities, and there is a good reason you're the president. It all begins with Micah, right?
That's correct. In 2006, the Rangers were at Cook Children's Hospital over in Fort Worth, and they were doing their annual Christmas visit, and CJ came up, connected with Micah real well, and CJ really inspired Micah, and so I wrote CJ a thank you letter for that, and it turns out that Micah inspired him just as much, and we developed a friendship out of that, and that friendship has kind of grown into this charity.
That is awesome, and the good thing about it is you have a bowling tournament coming up to help the charity, right?
Correct. August 12th over at Splitsville Lanes in Arlington Highlands. It's $15 to get in, 5 frames of bowling. Come out, you hang out with CJ, a couple of the other players. There'll be raffle items, and it's just a really good time. Plus, you don't want to miss CJ hitting it up on the DJ table at the end of the evening. So.
There we go. That's worth it right there. Okay, you see the information on the screen. Ranger fans, come on out and support a heck of a charity. Robert, good seeing you again.
Thank you very much.
Good seeing you, Micah. Way to go, buddy. Josh.
Thank you, Jim. And yeah, Micah and CJ are tight. And CJ just the other day actually went to a couple different hospitals delivering some goodies, some video games for the children's wards. And he was very fired up for that bowling tournament. And it is true. I don't know if you're aware of this, Tom, but Mixmaster CJ Wilson is indeed pretty good. His brother Ryan is a professional DJ in L.A.
Wow.
Pulls 4 figures a gig, I believe. Apparently, if you're really good at spinning tunes, you get paid. So Mark Ellis is going to draw the walk here, leading off the second inning. And again, that's August 12th if you want to come hang with CJ and bowl a little bit. Here's Landon Powell getting a chance to catch in the finale with Kurt Suzuki DHing. They sure do want Suzuki's bat still in the lineup. But you mentioned it earlier, Tom. The A's have just stacked this thing with as many righties as humanly possible. Lefties against CJ this year. It's not even a fair fight. They are 9 for 100.
Well, throughout the course of the season, everybody needs an off day. And if you're going to give guys an off day, it would make sense to give your left-hand hitters an off day when you've got a guy like CJ pitching. It's very much appreciated when you get one on that kind of a day.
An .090 batting average is the best for anybody against lefties since 1974, if he can carry this all the way through the end of the year. Lefties are 1 for their last 31 against CJ. This game already passing for a barn burner with 3 runs on the scoreboard in the first inning. We saw back-to-back 3-1 finals, the first 2 games of the series. But Colby Lewis pitched just fine yesterday, but he was just matched up against the wrong guy. Happened to him in Detroit, too, his last start. Max Scherzer just pitched a little bit better.
And Colby said after the game, and I agree with him, he really only made one bad pitch, was the slider that he hung to Suzuki. You like to think if you only make 1 or 2 mistakes that they won't end up as a home run. Maybe it's popped up, maybe it's a line drive to somebody, but that one ended up as a home run.
CJ began the year without allowing a single home run all the way through his first 7 starts. So he was the first Ranger ever to begin a year with 7 straight quality starts. Then he had a little cluster where the home runs were flying a little bit. And now over the last several starts, he's kind of back to where he started. picked by Teagarden.
So far tonight, CJ not quite as sharp as he was in his last start. And not quite as dominating as he was in the Red Sox start. Still trying to find it as far as his command goes. Good thing is one good pitch, one ground ball, and you got 2 quick outs.
Strike 3, throw down, good night, double play.
That's just as good as a ground ball. When you throw a strike like that to second base, good throw, Taylor. Nice to see it back, big guy.
Bob Guerin, a former catcher himself, he can appreciate the art of a strike him out, throw him out DP.
And there's that outside corner, and there's the strike to second base. Ellis doesn't even bother to slide. What a turnaround. 3-2, nobody out. If that's called a ball, a little bit outside, 2 men on, nobody out. Instead, 1 pitch, 2 outs.
Now a foul by Matt Carson. Playing right field for these Oakland A's, who are, as we mentioned, 7.5 behind the Rangers. Check your Jack in the Box standings board. It's weird to see the Angels as a 500 team.
Yeah, they just really haven't been playing that well.
Joel Pinheiro is hurt now. That ball scorched in a center base hit for Carson, who had struck out in all 3 of his previous plate appearances in this series. I guess Dan Herron's going to be okay, though. He strained his forearm in that initial start that he made for L.A., but he's going to pitch against apparently Scott Feldman on Saturday for the Rangers.
Okay.
Going to be Tommy Hunter Friday, and the Rangers, I guess, can choose between Feldman and Rich Harden if they want to on Saturday. For now, Feldman continues to be listed. Looks like he will get that call. It's not like it's the last stand for the Angels, but if they, I don't know, get swept, that would be really, really tough for them to come back. They're going to throw their best. Santana, Herron, and Weaver. Santana, a dominating performance against the Rangers earlier in this homestand.
Oh, you look at the pitchers the Rangers have faced in the last 8 games. Go back to the last game in Detroit when they faced Max Scherzer. They've seen the 3 Angels' best pitchers, 3 of the A's best pitchers, and they've got a lot of them. And so it's been tough to hit the last week for Ranger hitters. I don't think it's that they're in a slump as much as they've just faced really good pitching.
They got the one Trevor Bell start. He was in there with an ERA of 6, but yeah,
that's the only one.
Other than that, right? Even Max Scherzer with a 4.7 ERA. That is not a representative ERA for how he's been pitching of late. Those Tigers got to pick it up, by the way. They've lost 3 straight, 8 out of 11. They are 5 behind Chicago now. Tigers are talking about making some trades. The trades that were made today, obviously the Rangers getting Jorge Cantu. That's the big news around here. And Houston trading Roy Oswalt to Philly. That is done. Also Baltimore dealing Miguel Tejada today. He goes to San Diego. So the Padres are in it to win it. So much for dealing Adrian Gonzalez by July 31st.
Some pretty good pitchers changing teams, boy.
But Pennington, I don't know how he made any contact against that. Somehow he just barely tipped it.
Looked like it might have hit him if he didn't swing at it.
A lot of movement on that one from CJ. And that one does hit him.
Well, you get 2 quick outs and now a single and a hit batter, and now you've got a hot hitter, Crisp, at the plate, swinging the bat really well right now. This ball just really got away from CJ. He's trying to throw it in, and boy, missed by 2 feet.
Hitting the number 9 batter in the hip. And you're right, Coco Crisp, even his outs have been loud in this series.
Yeah, last night he had a couple of hits and a couple of hard hit outs. Line shot at the first baseman, line drive to the outfield.
And the one he hit out there to the outfield that went for the single was misplayed by Josh Hamilton. Went for the second of 3 Ranger errors last night. And as Michael Young called it, and I can't disagree, it was just not a real tight game by the Rangers. They had almost as many errors as hits. Fortunately, that's been the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, and with all that happening, they still had the tying run at the plate late in the ballgame.
You got to give it up for Craig Breslow, I guess, too, huh?
He came in throwing some heat.
Hamilton and Cruz had their shots to tie it up. Breslow struck them both out.
Yeah, nothing but fastballs, no trickery, no finesse. Here it is. See if you can hit it. And he won
for his second ever big league save.
I think he might have surprised both Josh and Nelly with that philosophy of pitching in that situation to those two guys.
I agree. Taylor Teagarden was on deck after Nelson Cruz. Although Taylor has succeeded at this level before, bottom line is he's 1 for 27 this year. And the speculation was maybe he at least pitches carefully to Nelly Cruz, but no, he went right at him. Still working out there in a bit of a laborious inning here.
CJ is really struggling with his command. This is going to be his 44th pitch in the second inning.
Yeah, 27 of those 44 in this second inning. Well, now that strike him out, throw him out double play looks real big.
I guess so.
There's a strikeout to end the inning.
That's a big one.
That strands a couple of Oakland A's. It is still 2-1 Rangers at the ballpark tonight. With a different look at the bottom third of the order for Ron Washington tonight. Joaquin Arias bats 7th in his lineup. He's going to put one towards the crowd, but not quite into it. In fact, it stays in fair ground for Carson. And Mitch Moreland coming up. That's the news of the day, is Mitch Moreland making his big league debut. And that is the new look in this bottom third of the order tonight. Arias, Moreland, and Teagarden. Not something we've seen really tagged since spring training.
No, what a thrill for Mitch Moreland. First big league at bat. He got off to a little bit of a slow start at AAA this year, but for quite a while now. He's been hot, hitting way over 300 for a long time. He's got his average up to around 290 down in AAA. A lot of doubles.
He had a home run yesterday, his 12th of the year at AAA. 65 runs batted in down there. And as a bonus, he's been hitting lefties pretty well. Doesn't really have that big of a split between hitting lefties and hitting righties. About 280 both ways. Out of Mississippi State, Rafael Palmeiro, Will Clark. We have seen Mississippi State Bulldogs at first base in this ballpark before. I think Moreland looks like David DeLucci a little bit. Of course, he was an Ole Miss guy, not Mississippi State. That's the big rival.
What happened to David DeLucci?
Just couldn't stay healthy.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Pinballed around a bit. Cleveland, Toronto. The 3-1 to the rookie. Into right field, and he's got a hit in his first at-bat in the majors.
He worked the count, got ahead in the count, got a fastball, a nice solid.
Whoa.
Oh, he almost threw it into the stands.
Good save, watch. Picking machine, Ron Washington.
He had a nice swing.
Big league batting average of 1,000. Here's the hit. Got up in the count 3-1, and that's probably a big help. Wait for your pitch. He got his pitch. And now, thanks to Ron Washington, he's got the ball, too.
He hasn't learned the sign language yet.
Hamilton's trying to help him.
Let's go, kid.
Give me the claw. There you go. He's too busy thinking about everything else. Like, oh my gosh, I just got a hit in the big leagues.
I don't blame him. See how close this comes to going into the stands. Pretty close.
Wash was ready to box out if he needed to.
Like a soccer goalie.
Now Teagarden fouls it. Taylor just so happened to be back and getting another chance. Of course, he kind of wiped out his first shot this year with the Rangers. Just one hit. 27 at bats, and 17 of those were strikeouts. Don't want to get picked off right after your first big league hit. Congrats to Mitch Moreland. He opened some eyes in spring training. The Rangers certainly didn't forget who he was. They brought him up today. And now Teagarden, little liner towards third, and Mitch Moreland is doubled up. And the Rangers turned away. Well, congrats to Mitch. The Rangers still leading 2-1. 15% on car insurance. Also by AT&T. See what's new at AT&T. Go to att.com. And by Carter Blood Center. Give blood often. Go to carterbloodcare.org. Mitch Moreland, just like Ian Kinsler, the man he's replacing on the roster, a 17th round draft pick. He's out of that 07 draft for the Rangers. And he is now 1 for 1 in the big leagues. Rangers leading 2-1. Rajay Davis will be followed here by Suzuki and Kuzmanov. And, you know, Tom, I'm looking at that 2007 draft for the Rangers. That's the one that produced Julio Bourbon and Tommy Hunter. Now here comes Mitch Moreland. And when you think about it, some of the other big-time names in that draft have just been peddled to bring in the likes of Cliff Lee and Benji Molina.
Yeah, that's shaping up as a very successful draft.
That was the Blake Bevan, Michael Maine draft.
Yeah.
And those are two of the names that were involved in bringing in Lee and Molina.
Yeah, those are two highly touted young pitching prospects. Definite big league futures. When you look at the three guys in the big leagues that you mentioned, plus those two kids, I'm sure there's some other names in that draft that were pretty good too. Tremendous scouting job that year.
Davis turns on one, drives it, but foul. Yeah, if all you had was Bourbon and Hunter,
that'd be pretty
I think you'd call that a pretty good draft.
Davis is hot. He's hitting about almost 400 in his last 40 at bats. That was after going 1 for 28. Left-handed pitching, he's hitting 320. He's hitting about 330 against the Rangers over his last 17 games.
This time trying out right field. Nelson Cruz will make the catch and bang into the wall. In that order.
I think Nelly Cruz is one of the most improved outfielders in the league, and I'm not saying that because he started out as a bad outfielder. I just think over the last month or so he's turning into an above average outfielder the way he's playing out there, going up against the wall. It's a nice catch. It looks easy, but when you're that close to that wall, that's not an easy catch. Made several catches going back up against the wall. The one in Boston, he went over the wall. The other night he went over the wall. Diving catches. Really playing great out there right now.
And Tom, just to finish the thought about that 2007 draft, that's the year that David Price went first to Tampa Bay, and the Rangers picked, I guess, 17th that year to get Blake Bevan. The other name that we should throw in there that was used to acquire somebody else, that was just done today. Evan Reed was a third-round pick that year. And
another definite prospect.
That's the guy that the Rangers used as bait to bring in Jorge Cantu.
Yeah, that's a terrific draft. I didn't realize all those kids were in the same draft.
Rolled back to C.J. Wilson. Kurt Suzuki is out number 2. And if you're just tuning in and you're saying, wait a minute, Jorge Cantu, since when has he been a Texas Ranger? Well, since about 5:15. Yeah. Cantu was with the Marlins today as they were playing in San Francisco. He got pulled from that game in the 8th inning, which led you to believe that trade was about to happen. We're told he's actually on the plane right now with the Marlins, who are on their way to San Diego. And he'll just hang out in San Diego tonight, say his goodbyes, and head on up to Anaheim sometime tomorrow, about a 90-mile drive.
Well, I think it's a good trade for Cantu to come to a pennant contender. I think anytime a pennant contender goes out, identifies a guy, acquires him, it's got to be a great feeling for that guy to come over. Good lineup to hit in. Good ballpark to hit in. Should be a good addition to the ball club.
And he's a Texan, too. Grew up in McAllen, and just across the Mexican border, owns ranch land. He is a rancher, not by trade, but I guess that's kind of his avocation. He's got 8,600 acres.
Wow. Got to get together with Carlos Lee.
A smash by Kuzmanov, foul. From what I remember, Cantu was going to start, I don't know if he ever got this done, but on the property he was going to start a white-tailed deer hunting area. That sounds like a Josh Hamilton road trip in the offseason. Go hang out at Jorge's. Cantu, by the way, will wear number 9. Last worn by Hank Blaylock. pass the mound slowly. Elvis Andrus will gobble it up and take care of Kuzman off to end the top of the third. Rangers 2 and the Oakland A's 1. Phone, your iPod Touch, your BlackBerry, your Android, all of that with MLB.com at bat 2010. Go to TexasRangers.com for more information. The Rangers have that 2-1 lead. Runs batted in from Guerrero and Cruz. Now the top third of the order for a second time against the northern New Jersey native Vin Mazzaro. Popped into the air, and Elvis still not quite where he needs to be here in July. He had a really solid May and June, but now hitting around 185 in July. Good news is the guys coming up right after him, Young and Hamilton, hitting the ball real well.
Now when Elvis gets hot again, it just has more men on base for the guys in the middle of the lineup. It's been lacking a little bit for the last couple of weeks.
Young fashioned a 7-pitch at bat and then finally singled in the first inning.
That's a good sign.
Michael wears that number 10 with pride, just like Jim Sundberg used to around here. Another one wrapped up the middle. Another base hit for Michael to bring up Josh Hamilton. Well, after an 0 for 4 yesterday with 3 punch-outs, 2 for 2 tonight.
Well hit ball right there. Right back through the middle.
Every time Michael's batting average gets close to dipping under 300, he just comes out with a couple more hits. That first inning double for Josh. He's now leading the American League in that department in doubles. Leads the majors in hits, total bases, extra base hits. And of course batting average. 360 now. Ramming this one into right. That's simply a single. He is 2 for 2, just like Michael Young. And with just one out, Vlad Guerrero coming up.
First time up, pitch away. He went to left field. This time, a pitch on the inner part of the plate. He rips it into right field. You're just basically looking at the best hitter in baseball right now. It's all the only way you can say it. Best player in baseball.
We're closing in on 9 weeks now, Tom, where he's been hitting above .430.
It's amazing.
Some guys, you know, might do that for a week, week and a half, and they win Player of the Week for doing it. But 9 weeks in a row. Strike one to Vladdy, outside edge. And Vlad on his last couple of balls in play against Mazzaro has 5 runs batted in. A grand slam and an RBI groundout.
Some people to thank for the goodies. Verna McDonald from McKinney, Texas. She sent us some delicious cookies yesterday. And Richard and Suzette Schreiber from Windhorse, Texas. Fresh peach cobbler.
Yeah.
Those peaches from their backyard trees. And Shirley Coast, our cookie lady. Coconut macadamia cookies. Great selection tonight. Ladies, thank you very much. Not much talking going on in the booth tonight. A lot of eating, though. Just looking behind me.
Cookies and
a lot of smiles.
Our napkin supply is running low. Vladdy reaches out on 0-2, and he's going to have another RBI. Hamilton on to third. Michael Young has scored. It is 3-1.
Vladdy's one of those guys where it just drives a pitcher crazy. You think you've made the pitch you want to make to get him out, and he lines it into right field for a base hit.
3 straight one-out singles now, and Vladdy gets it done on 0-2.
The pitch is not a strike. It's away. Not a bad pitch, but, you know, I guess when you're head 0-2 to Vladdy, it's a little bit too good. You probably want to throw it 4 or 5 inches more outside than that to keep him from being able to do that.
He's got those long arms. That telephone pole that masquerades as a bat. And yeah, he can go out and get you out there. Now we'll see if Nelson Cruz can just blow this thing open. Down and in to Nelson Cruz, who now has a 17-game hit streak. The first inning RBI. Nelly was right at 300 tag when this hit streak began. And certainly that's not bad. Now he's at 333. Not easy this late in the season to tack on 33 points to your batting average in 3 weeks' time. You play the what-if game a little bit. Nelly having missed 37 games this year with the 2 different hamstring injuries. How good would the numbers be if that hadn't happened?
Yeah, because the other thing is, I think both times he went on the disabled list, he was hot right before he went on the disabled list. So
yeah.
Who knows how much longer those tremendous streaks he was in would have lasted. His numbers, if he didn't get hurt, might be incredible right now.
Remember, he started the year with 7 homers in his first 11 games. Draws the walk, and up comes Murphy. Bases full of Rangers.
The Rangers really haven't. When's the last big inning the Rangers had? I don't know that they've had much more than a 2-run inning for quite a while.
You know what? In Detroit, they had those. They had the 4-run ninth. And that was
second game of the series,
July the 20th. So if you call a 4-run inning a big inning.
Yeah, I do. I call that a big inning.
Then
I'd like to see one right here.
The answer is 9 days ago. And you hit on, I guess, kind of a salient point here, Tag. The last 7 games now, the Rangers coming in it tonight had only scored 17 runs total. 2.5 a game.
And they're still winning their share of them, too. with good pitching.
Popped up by Murphy in a foul ground. Kuzminoff is over. Can't get it. In Oakland, he locks it up. There's nothing but foul territory in Oakland.
Yep, you walk back to the dugout, bases loaded, 1 out, shaking your head after that. In Oakland, here you get a reprieve. Guy just got his food. He's just glad it didn't get disrupted.
Worked out pretty well. So
What is that?
good looking plate right there. Little nacho salad, perhaps. 2-1 the count. Murphy just missed taking one out in the first inning. Hit it to the warning track in center.
Mazzaro hasn't had a game like this in a while. 6 straight quality starts. 4-0 in his last 5 starts.
Doesn't appear that slider is quite as snappy as we made it out to be.
Yeah, I think his problem, Josh, with the slider, he just hasn't been able to throw it for a strike, and the Rangers are laying off it. And he's got to throw a strike right here. I'm making the call right here.
Right here?
Yep.
Salami?
Yep.
Oh, you just missed your salami.
He had a good swing at it.
The wind takes it. That was an adventure there for a second. Pennington kind of circled it and then found it.
Yeah, the way he went after it, they weren't calling the infield fly either.
No, that's not one where you assume at all.
That's too bad. Dave got a fastball right down the middle of the plate. Just got underneath it. Missed a great opportunity right there. Actually, I think if he just kind of drifted back on that and got underneath it, they probably would have called the infield fly. But the way he scrambled to catch it, there's no way they could call it. Pennington's just taking a deep breath saying, thank goodness I got that one.
It looked like, watching the second base umpire, Kerwin Danley, he kind of had his finger holstered, ready to call the infield fly. But you're right, he never could.
No. Well, you don't want to let this opportunity go by. It's going to take a 2-out hit from Joaquin right here.
Going to take a 2-strike base hit here. Joaquin has only made 6 starts since the middle of May. But in one of them, he had a 3 RBI game. I think a drive-in 3 with a well-placed baseball right here. The man making his big league debut is on deck. Mitch Moreland is already singled tonight. There's Mr. 1000. Arias chased it, down he goes, and the Rangers leave him loaded. They do get a run on another RBI hit from Guerrero. It is 3-1 Texas, end of 3. Chevrolet for their support of the Burleson Youth Baseball Association. For more info on Chevy's commitment to Youth League Baseball, just go to ChevyTexasBaseball.com. Well, the Rangers with C.J. Wilson on the mound. He's allowed only 2 runs in 3 starts now since the All-Star break. One of those runs was allowed in the top of the first tonight. The Rangers quickly fought back, scored 2 in the bottom of that inning, just added 1 in the third. And looking for more in that inning, Tom, they had the bases loaded, 1 out. Murphy popped out and Area struck out.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity. Base hit would have been great, but even a sacrifice fly would have added 1 big run. But good inning anyway. 3 straight hits drove in a run.
Adam Rosales takes a strike. He's just 4 for 30 against the Rangers this year. Guy that played for the Reds a year ago. Handy player to have. He's made a start at 5 different positions for him.
I think he is too. I like his style too. He plays hard, very alert player, hustles all the time.
Yeah, he's just got that that always on look about him.
Yep, he does.
I know you like the high socks too.
I do like the high socks. Good look. Don't particularly love the Christmas look tonight, though, the green and red look.
Well, the A's could have gone all gray. Helped out a little bit. But this is for our viewers that have invested in the high-def flat screen. Your colors just bursting out at you tonight. We will see some red tomorrow. The Rangers take on the Angels. It's Tommy Hunter now on 4 days rest up against Irvin Santana. That game on TXA 21 tomorrow night, 9:05 North Texas time.
CJ just not popping the corners today like he was in his last start. Just a little bit off, not missing by much. If he had an umpire with a little bit of a wide strike zone, he'd be in good shape tonight because he's not missing by much.
Ground ball past the mound. Andrews could not get it. Just kind of flailed at it, but it got under his glove, and Rosales has a hit.
What Elvis was trying to do, he probably could have caught that ball if just catching it is all that mattered, but he was trying to catch it and throw it to turn it into an out. If you can't turn it into an out, it doesn't make any difference whether you catch it or not. He was to see him turning around. He was trying to catch it in the end of his glove and then spin around and fire it, but just couldn't quite get there.
Mark Ellis walked and was caught stealing in the second. He's the A's second baseman, and he's had a little bit of what Ian Kinsler has wandered into, just that whole can't stay healthy thing. Ellis has been on the DL 5 times in the last 5 years. Kinsler going on today, and that gives him 6 times in the last 5 years. I think every Ranger fan, and certainly Ian Kinsler himself, looking forward to that year where he can stay healthy and play in 160 games. Last year, Ian playing in about 140. Had a 31 homer, 31 steal season.
Yeah, it really is important if you want to put up the biggest numbers you can put up. To go out there 160 times. That's what Ruben Sierra used to do. He never wanted a day off. A lot of guys don't want a day off. His theory was the more I play, the more damage I can do.
Broken finger for Ian. Diving into second base in Anaheim was his first DL stint a few years ago. In there, down goes Mark Ellis.
There's the pitch. Brings that cutter across the plate. Ellis took it, and he knew it. He was walking away right as the umpire was calling it. Look at the outside corner, and there it comes. That's the pitch against the Angels. CJ just threw that one right after the other. Looks outside, comes back and catches the plate. The hitter just shakes his head and says, nothing I could do about it.
The strikeout totals weren't there in that Angels game. They didn't need to be. CJ didn't even have a swing and a miss, let alone a strikeout, until the 7th inning of that game, which is amazing when you consider what we've been saying about that game, that it was his best of the year.
Well, he went 8 innings. He only threw 104 pitches. There weren't many balls hit hard. To me, that's the true test. Not how many strikeouts, but if they are hitting the ball, how hard are they hitting the ball? And in that game, they weren't hitting it hard at all.
Oh, dialed it down. Powell. Not even close. 1-1.
The changeup. CJ's got all the pitches. Cutter, curveball, changeup, sinker.
A few years ago, he was threatening to trot that gyro ball out there, too.
He may still have it. Hasn't at least as far as we know, he hasn't broken it out yet.
Remember the one he called the thimble?
No.
You don't remember the thimble?
I don't remember the thimble. What was Erasmo's pitch?
That was the, oh boy, what was that thing? That was the
changeup that he used to throw. Had a great name.
Oh. It'll come to me probably in 3 innings.
Well, we're good. We'll still be going.
It wasn't Okajima's Okie Dokie.
No, I like the Okie Dokie, though. I'm waiting for a pitcher to invent the pitch that starts off curving one way and then curves another way before it gets to the plate. The double break.
Powell waves and couldn't get it.
Might need Fred McMurray to invent that pitch.
Great Fred McMurray reference. The thimble that CJ threatened to break out was kind of a hybrid changeup and knuckleball. He wanted to call it the thing, and it tumbled. So he said, I'm just going to combine thing and tumble. I'm calling it the thimble. And everybody said, oh, okay, all right. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Josh. Getting a lot of attention in the stands tonight is Green Man. Why are we in this outfit here?
Well, I'm Green Man. I'm coming down here from Philadelphia. And from that FX hit show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm a big Rangers fan, so I just had to come down here and watch a game.
All right, very nice. Good. We just had to get that answer out of you, Green Man. The hat looks good. I don't know about the rest of the outfit. Thank you very much, Josh.
Looks like chicks dig the Green Man.
Yeah, Green Man's doing okay for himself. Somehow I doubt there's going to be a run on chartreuse latex. I don't care how good Mrs. Green looks, but any hoots, here's Matt Carson, and he'll take down and in. I don't know if that's brave or what that is. 95 degrees today.
Well, they got him on TV.
Yeah.
So it was maybe successful.
You get that thing dry cleaned, do you figure, or?
I think you can probably pop that right in the washer.
Here's a 1-0 to Carson. And again, Wilson changing speeds.
Well, the changeup is a great pitch. It just keeps you honest. It just makes your fastball look that much better. And every time CJ's thrown the changeup, when the A's have swung, they've been way out in front of it, anticipating that it was going to be a fastball.
I am still dying trying to figure out the name of Erasmo Ramirez's signature pitch.
Yeah, what was that?
I'm gonna text him in between innings here.
Okay.
Fouled back by Carson. Erasmo himself was the eraser. That was,
called him the eraser.
Yeah.
He had a really good changeup. I'm not sure. I can't remember the velocity of his changeup, but it was in the 60s. It was a really slow pitch. Maybe low 70s.
And yep, that is the most famous person I've got in my call log.
Erasmo?
It's Erasmo Ramirez.
Where'd you bump? You bumped into him at a bookstore.
I bumped into him so randomly at a bookstore in Southern California. I think this past winter.
Oh, he's one guy that genuinely appreciated his opportunity to play in the big leagues. I don't know, there's been too many guys happier to be a big leaguer than Erasmo.
He worked real hard, and he was part of a Ranger bullpen that just seemed to change out daily, you know, about 4, 5, 6 years ago. Every time he got sent down, he'd come back with a big smile. The 2-2 to Carson. Slowly hit, dribbled up near third. Bare hand pick up. Michael Young got his man. Beautifully done. And the Rangers continue to lead the A's 3-1. Brought to you by AT TEX, the only player in Ranger history to lead the American League in total bases. Add up your singles, doubles, triples, homers. What do you get? Your total bases, and which Ranger led in that department. Moreland won a total base as a Ranger, 1 for 2 now. I'll show you his first big league hit. If you missed it in the second inning, you worked the count to 3-1. The Coors Light Freeze Cam will show you the point of contact. And you will always remember Vin Mazzaro as the guy that served it up. Ron Washington made sure that that ball was saved. And by the way, I have an answer for you, Tag, on the Erasmo Ramirez signature pitch.
Did you think of it, or did it come from him?
Erasmo just let me know. The Crippler. I knew I'd get you with that, too. But it was like mid-60s, and it crippled the opposition.
The eraser threw the crippler.
It's better than the crippler throwing the eraser.
That's great.
All right, that was going to bug us all night, so glad we can move on. Taylor Teagarden taking up too high. Speaking of the Rangers bullpen, that has been among the key elements here when you talk about the success of 2010. The pitching staff in general, Tag, obviously solid all year. Number 3 ERA right now in the AL. But since the All-Star break, it's number 1. Oakland, by the way, number 2.
See Scott Feldman out in the bullpen. Don't see him out there very often.
Teagarden pops it out of play. Again, what we've been told is to expect Feldman pitching on Saturday as scheduled, with Tommy Hunter going tomorrow. But the Rangers will have to decide what to do with Rich Harden. I guess another decision, good decision to have to make reasonably soon, Tom, would be what to do with Derek Holland. He pitched 5 innings of one-hit ball at Okie City yesterday.
Yeah, that was nice to see. And I think Derek, after the game, felt like he wasn't quite as sharp as he'd like to be to come back to the big leagues, but it's a good step in the right direction. You'd have to think he's going to have at least 1, maybe 2 more rehab starts to get up to 85 or 90 pitches to be ready when he comes back.
Teagarden down on strikes. That is 4 straight set down now by Vin Mazzaro. Quick reminder that Lexus vehicles can be valet parked free of charge at any Ranger home game. Rangers have games coming up against the Yankees and the Red Sox next homestand. That Boston series is August 13th through 15th. 972 Rangers or TexasRangers.com to get your tickets. The tag going by, and yes, Elvis Andrus is told he got you on the belt. Elvis didn't think so. Ron Washington out to argue. But this inning is over. The Rangers lead the A's 3-1. Was out. I don't know.
I don't think he tagged him, but I don't know that a first base umpire really has a shot other than to guess on that, because where he's stationed and where the first base umpire is always going to be stationed, he's completely blocked by the runner. He sees the swipe and then just has a decision to make. Did he tag him or not? And it basically, Buzz, I guess, is an educated guess, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Tom. And from his angle, I think that was close enough that you've got to assume he got him.
Yeah.
The ball was there in time for him to make that tag, and that's about all you can do.
Yeah, I think I would have made the same call if I were him.
Steve Busby joins us in the booth, by the way. That's the new face is upon us here. You'll see Buzz's smiling face as part of the post-game coverage as well on Rangers Live. And as always, we bring Buzz on to talk about the state of the state and mostly pitching, because that's what Buzz did so very well back in the day. C.J. Wilson records the first out here in the 5th. What is C.J. Wilson doing well tonight?
First of all, thank you, Josh. I appreciate that.
Well, I mean,
you didn't have to say way back.
I didn't mean way
That's
back.
okay.
All right.
That's all right. I thought C.J. might have been trying a little too hard to start off with. Maybe trying to emulate Cliff Lee a little too hard. I think when you try to pitch the way that Cliff Lee does, you have to remember you haven't been doing it nearly as long as he has, and you can't be as relaxed game in and game out as he is. So your command's not going to be the same. Now, you may have one game out of 5 or 6 where you can command the strike zone the way that Cliff does virtually every time out. And I think C.J. kind of got caught up in that early. And once you figured that out, I thought he's throwing the ball much better lately.
And it's funny because it's not like he's reverted to being anything way different.
No, this is where I think you have to be patient with yourself, and that's easy to say, but very difficult to do. You want to be. I think most pitchers, most players are perfectionists to one degree or another, and you expect perfection out of yourself, and it's hard to accept something less than that. But virtually every night, you're going to have to accept something less than perfection.
Probably the best inning he's pitched tonight was that third inning after the struggle in the second. And for whatever reason, Buzz, the third innings this year have been the near perfect inning for C.J. Wilson. He's allowed 13 runs in the first this year, 10 in the second, 12 in the fourth. One third inning run all year. I have no idea why that is. It's usually the second time through the order.
Yeah.
And maybe he just kind of settles in or something like that. But
it could be. It takes him that long to kind of calm down and get his feet on the ground, and whatever's happened in the first two innings, he's kind of figured things out for himself. I think part of it too, and this is not a knock on Taylor Teagarden, but when you're working with a different catcher than you have been accustomed to working with, the catcher doesn't read as quickly as Benji Molina would, having worked with CJ. What's going on? Molina might have been able to say, okay, hey, here's what's happening. Calm down a little bit, or would try this. But Taylor hasn't had the benefit of catching CJ much in the last couple of months.
Coco Crisp draws the walk, and he's one of a handful of A's that can actually motor around the bases. We've seen that in this series.
So Oakland Ball Club has looked like they're running A's now instead of the swinging A's. They really get up and go, don't they?
Yeah, when you've got Pennington, Ninth, Crisp, and Davis, three guys hitting right together in the order, that's three guys that can really run.
When Billy Martin managed the A's, they were all about that speed game. Billy ball, they called it. Of course, when you think about the A's in the running game, I guess Ricky Henderson's always the first guy you think about, right?
Say, when you're Billy Martin and you have Ricky Henderson, that's a pretty good thing to do, is let those guys go.
On the ground towards short, Elvis has got it. They get the one there. Arias with the throw. It gets away from Moreland, backed up by Teagarden. Tough to double up that tandem of Crisp and Davis. They do get one out. Now you got to worry about Davis running.
And when you've got a fast runner at first, he can get down to break up the double play quicker. Let's see if he does. Yeah, he made Arias aware of him as Crisp slides into second base. Had to hurry his throw, jump out of the way. Probably wouldn't have gotten Davis anyway.
Buzz, we were talking about trick pitches and even signature pitches a little bit last inning. Did you ever tinker with anything like that? Anything wacky or weird, or did you just go at guys?
I tried to throw a spitter, and I couldn't get the darn thing to move.
Really?
Honestly, I couldn't. I couldn't get the thing to move. And what started it was one day I was pitching against the Rangers, and Gaylord was out there, and I went out after the third or fourth inning, and the ball had a big spot on it. And I don't know if Gaylord put it on there or if a bird dropped something on it, but Freddie Patek, our shortstop, ran by the mound, picked it up, looked at it, and threw it back to the umpire. And I said, Freddie, at least give me one shot. One pitch. Let me see if I can do something with it. No, here, and throw it back to the umpire. But I never could get the thing to move. The only other one, I guess, would have been a screwball. I messed with that some. But nothing really exotic.
Never threw an ephus pitch?
Not intentionally. A few of them acted like it, but I had enough trouble just commanding a fastball and a slider.
So no thimble, no crippler.
No, I didn't have any nicknames for mine.
When you spend a lot of time teaching kids how to pitch, do you try to adopt the philosophy with kids that master your fastball first?
Yeah, I really do. And
locate your fastball?
Yeah. And what I tell guys, especially the guys from say 13 to 16 or so, that's a real dangerous age group, I think, because you kind of fall in love with your curveball or something that guys can't hit. Human nature says if I can throw one, I'm going to throw it all the time in a game. Well, what you do, Tom, at least my philosophy is, if you throw that enough, you're not going to develop your best fastball.
Right.
You're not going to develop the muscles, the timing, the ability to throw your 100% fastball. And once you get to be 17 or 18, if you haven't developed that, it's not going to happen.
Right.
So I tell kids, instead of worrying about hurting yourself throwing a curveball, worry about setting yourself back and learn how to throw your 100% fastball. Not every pitch, but
Davis is going this time. Teagarden firing. The tag is too late. Arias tumbling towards him and then away from him. And Rajai Davis now with a couple of steals tonight. 32 for the year. And a base hit by Suzuki and get the A's back to within 3-2. Suzuki's already driven in a run tonight with a sac fly. They drove in 2 of their 3 runs yesterday.
Anyway, Tom, to finish answering your question, yeah, I'm a big believer in that, developing the fastball and then the changeup. And I think a breaking ball comes third in that. There are a lot of guys at the major league level who pitch primarily fastball changeup and are pretty doggone successful with it.
Suzuki down on strikes.
Had a good hitter look bad right there.
It stays 3-1. Buzz will talk to you after the game on Rangers Live.
I'll look forward to it. Hopefully a W.
Between the Rangers and the A's, can Michael Young give the Rangers a 4 spot tonight? Well, not quite, but he's on his way to second base. A leadoff first pitch double here in the 5th inning.
Well, how about the 3 at-bats for Michael today? 2 ropes up the middle, and now a rope off the right field wall. Well, it's been Young, Hamilton, Guerrero, and Cruz been doing the damage in this game.
That 0 for 4 with 3 punch-outs made him mad yesterday, apparently.
Thing of the past.
Now the Rangers had a chance to extend their lead a couple innings ago. Now they'll open up with a new opportunity here in the bottom of the 5th. Young on second base and Hamilton to the plate. Young and Hamilton are combined 5 for 5. Let's get you back to that trivia question that we asked you a while ago. Presented by AT&T, the one Ranger player to lead the American League in total bases was Josh Hamilton. And he's on line to do it again in 2010. Your forward leaderboard will show it to you. Hamilton is up 8 on Miguel Cabrera. After that, it drops off. Left field and foul. See if Josh, for the first time this year, can get the batting average up above 360. He is 31 for his last 66. And that was after being Player of the Month. Wrapped into right field. He's done it. Young to third, being held. Runners at the corners and nobody out. Young and Hamilton are 6 out of 6.
Well, Josh, you just watch this game tonight. You see what a great hitter he is. He's hit the outside pitch to left field, and he's pulled 2 balls on the inside part of the plate to right field. Every one of them hit hard. He was late on the pitch before it and fouled it off. So Mazzaro came back and threw the same pitch. And that time he just drove it into right field. Good scoring opportunity for the Rangers right here. First and third, nobody out.
Well, Vlad, who had been in kind of an RBI drought, keeps getting some gold-plated opportunities to come through, and he's done it tonight a couple of times. RBI ground out, RBI single. Ooh, almost hit. Runs batted in for Vladdy now. Last year he had 50. On the ground is short. He will not get an RBI out of this, but a run does trot on in. On a double play, the Rangers take a 4-1 lead.
Michael Young has 3 hits and he's scored 3 runs in 5 innings.
Yep, he's got the 3-3-3-0 box score.
I'm glad he's hit the ball that scored him 3 times. Didn't get an RBI there, but he has hit the ball that scored Michael all 3 times.
Cruz, another first pitch swing, this time a foul.
And Josh has been the one that's moved him into scoring position all 3 times. Pretty good formula right there. There's 2, 3, 4 guys in the lineup.
Well, the Rangers give C.J. Wilson a little more to play with tonight than he had last time. That was a 1-0 win against the Angels. Rangers trying to open an 8.5 game lead in the West. And then heading west for a long trip. 3 against the Angels, and an off day in Seattle, 3 against the Mariners, and 3 against these A's. Strike 3-2. With a time change, the Rangers should get in a little bit before 2 a.m. West Coast time. Get ready to play the Halos tomorrow. Cruz down on strikes. The Rangers settle for 1. And they lead 4-1 as we go to the 6th.
Through the aisles.
baseball. Rangers 4, the Oakland A's 1. Who signed that kid up right there? Good eye, good eye. Switch hitter, too.
And he's calling his shot. Told me a strike.
Kevin Kuzminoff, you know, he swung at that. On appeal, they went down, asked Dana DeMuth. It's 0-1.
Looked like it hit him in the foot, too. But if you swing, it doesn't matter.
A pitch dive bombing towards him, but it is a strike. Now he's going to tag one into the left field corner.
Well, when he's had a fastball to hit today, he has smoked it. He had the double to right center field, and he tomahawked that fastball. Off-speed pitch made him look bad, but the fastball, he was ready for it. Trying to throw it in, and it's right in the center of the plate, high part of the strike zone. Didn't get that one where he wanted it. Second time that CJ's missed his location to Kuzminoff, and the second time he's had a double. 94 pitches for CJ.
Yep, and Ogando begins to loosen. Has 2 doubles for Kuzminoff. Rajay Davis has 1 as well. And the batter, Adam Rosales. And Tom, we were talking about the Rangers heading out on the road. And obviously, that's a challenge when you go west for 10 days. Then the Rangers come home, and they get the Yankees and the Red Sox. That all starts Tuesday, August 10th.
Yeah, when you looked at post-All-Star break, you saw a challenging part of the schedule.
Hamilton gliding back. He will make the catch. If you come out for the Yankees series, August 10th and 11th, just a 2-game series, you can enjoy all-you-can-eat seating. Get an upper home run porch ticket plus all-you-can-eat of some ballpark favorites for just $39 for the games against the Yanks. TexasRangers.com to get that done. Sponsored by our buddies at The Ticket. Sports Radio 1310.
Well, you looked at the first road trip, Boston to Detroit, and we talked about 2 tough places for the Rangers to play. They won 3 out of 4, 2 out of 3. Okay, we're coming home. Got 4 big games against the Angels. Won 3 out of 4. A's had really good pitching.
That ball feathered down in the right field off the bat of Ellis. Runners at the corners now. The tying man coming up, and Landon Powell.
Got it in on the fists, and the little blooper was well placed.
Mike Maddox to the mound. They chatted up with Taylor Teagarden and C.J. Wilson.
One thing the A's will have tonight is they'll have good left-hand hitters off the bench. Barton and Cust for sure.
Yeah.
They're regulars. Cust with some power, Barton with some on-base percentage.
And Tom, just before we leave that thought about the challenging upcoming schedule, after the Yankees and Boston play here, got to go to Tampa Bay, which, if the season ended right now, you're talking about a potential first-round playoff matchup, the Rangers and the Rays.
Actually, I think the toughest part of the schedule, the 4 games, we go to Baltimore.
Yeah, the way the Orioles...
the way the Orioles have played against the Rangers like no other team this year.
Yeah, but you know what, though? There will not be a Juan Samuel-managed team by then. Buck Showalter has signed on.
Yeah, and congratulations to Buck.
Former Ranger manager. Apparently will make his Orioles debut on August 3rd. So it will be Buck against the Rangers. 4-game series in mid-August.
Rangers play the Yankees at home 5 times in a month.
We're going to have the Twins at home for 4. You mentioned Boston and New York coming in twice for a total of 5. You got the Tigers still at home.
Yeah, challenging.
Which is why it's important to build up as much as you can right now.
But just as we're sitting here talking about the schedule, the announcers for every team we just mentioned, they're looking at their schedule and going, yep, and then we got to go to Texas.
I know.
The 2 series against the Rangers.
Now the A's look at their schedule now and say, wow, we got 6 of our next 12 against Texas, and we got the Angels in there and the White Sox in there too.
Now, for the A's, it's an opportunity. They've got nothing to lose, so they need to be playing the Rangers to try to make up ground. And they've got good pitching. In any 3-game series, you can have a hard time against the A's. Just based on 5 solid starting pitchers. Doesn't matter which ones you get, they're all good. A ground ball double play right here.
Howell, a big beefy catcher, not a guy that runs real well. Trying to keep it 4-1 here in the top of the 6th. Rangers scoring 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 1 in the 5th tonight. And CJ giving up just the 1 run in the top of the first on a double, a steal, and a sac fly. On the ground, slowly hit though. Can they turn it? 5. Whoa! Yes, to 4 for the out. The fielder's choice. Arias hanging on barely long enough.
It was going to be a hard double play because it was a slowly hit ball and it was a long throw to second base. But it was the catcher running, so you had the chance because he's not a fast runner. It's a good throw from Michael.
Lost it on the transfer. That ends up as an RBI for Powell. Oh, that's too bad. Now it's 4-2 instead of 4-1. Matt Carson, the tying man. Again, Kinsler to the DL today. If you missed that news, Arias and Blanco will be playing us in second. Nothing said yet about the Rangers really planning to use the new acquisition, Jorge Cantu, at second, even though he's played there before. Ron Washington, according to John Daniels, will give him a little test drive out there and just kind of get a feel for whether or not that's an option. The Rangers dealing away Omar Poveda and Evan Reed, a couple of well thought of right-hand pitching prospects, landing Cantu today. Cantu with 35 extra base hits and is used to being an everyday player. He was hitting right in the middle of that Marlin lineup that we saw just a month ago. In the center field, a base hit. Now CJ, who came in with the second best opponent's batting average in the league, behind only Trevor Cahill, now has given up 7 hits tonight.
It's been a struggle for CJ tonight. I think he's battled well to be in the position that he's in. 105 pitches with a 4-2 lead. He hasn't had the command that he normally does, but he's tried everything. He's thrown changeups, curveballs, trying to find something that would work, and he's pitched solidly. 2 runs in 5 2/3.
He wanted to get through 6. You know he did. But Carson's second hit of the night drives him from the game. He leaves ahead 4-2.
watching Dave Anderson may work him out there at second base.
Rangers 4 and the A's 2. Trying to keep it that way. Our big news today, the acquisition of Jorge Cantu. John Daniels weighing in on the subject.
People that have played with him, been with him in different organizations, guys who've managed him, all speak real highly of him, his work ethic and kind of desire to win, the way he goes about it. I just think he's a good compliment for us. Can play first, can play third, has played a little second in the past, but it's been a few years from that. So, I think Wash and Dave Anderson may work him out there at second base.
Now, as we get back to the matter at hand, it is Alexei Ogando taking over for C.J. Wilson, inheriting 2 men on with 2 men out. The Rangers leading 4-2 here in the top of the 6th inning. The bottom man in the order, Cliff Pennington, up there. C.J. allowing 7 hits tonight. He did strike out 5, and as you said, Tom, he had to really kind of labor tonight to get it done. That's our Verizon Wireless call to the bullpen for Ogando.
Yeah, C.J. had dominating stuff against the Red Sox. He did walk 5, but he struck out 10. Pinpoint command in his last start. No walks, 8 innings. And tonight was a little bit in between. Didn't have the command. Still threw some really good pitches. And I thought really had to work hard tonight and battle without his best stuff to get to the point where if the Rangers can keep this lead, he's in position to win his 10th ball game.
To left field, that's trouble. Murphy trying to cut it off, but a run is in. On his way to second is Pennington, and he'll dive in head first. A 2-strike RBI double. That run charged against the ledger of Wilson. Well, that number 9 hitter has been tough tonight. Pennington has been on base a couple times, and now that double to make it 4-3. A Houston guy hits it to a Houston guy right there. Pennington puts it down in front of Murphy. Coco Crisp will come to the plate. Mike Maddox went to the mound to talk to Ogando. And here's where you hate that the Rangers couldn't take full advantage, I guess, Tom, in the 3rd and in the 5th. Well, they had opportunities for a lot more than what they got.
Well, the bases loaded situation was definitely an opportunity. That was bases loaded and 1 out. They didn't get anything. In last inning was 1st and 3rd. They got the guy in from 3rd. The guy from 1st didn't come around. But the bases loaded opportunity, that was a run waiting to happen right there.
Near the outside corner, but not called by Doug Eddings.
A little bit outside. The Rangers had an outside chance at a double play that would have allowed them to get out of the inning with no run scoring on Landon Powell. But since then, 2 big 2-out hits, Carson and Pennington.
The 8 and 9 guys. Popped up and heading towards the crowd. That runner at 3rd base, the tying man, still the responsibility of C.J. Wilson. It's been Vin Mazzaro all the way so far for Oakland tonight. Mazzaro is used to going only 5 or 6. With C.J., we've come to expect 7 or 8 this year. But obviously it's in the hands of the Ranger bullpen a little earlier tonight. Still needing to get 10 outs. A to high 2-2, 96 miles an hour from Ogando. We've seen him operate at 98. Trying something a little different. And Chris just took a look. You got the Ranger killer Rajay Davis on deck.
The Rangers having a hard time getting that last out. Credit to the Angel hitter, to the A's hitters.
And that failure to turn that double play. Again, it would have been a tough one to turn, but the inning has been prolonged from there. Bases loaded for Davis. More action in the Ranger bullpen with Darren O'Day. Now the rookie Ogando in a big spot. And Davis shoots it foul down the left field line. It gave you pause for just a moment. Simply strike one.
Well, he got away with one. He's trying to get ahead with his slider, but he throws it right down the middle of the plate. And you risk 4 runs in that location with an off-speed pitch. I make a better pitch than that with the bases loaded. That's a better pitch.
Yeah. Davis.
Sharp slider, not even anywhere near.
Davis just couldn't help himself. And now 2 strikes with the bases loaded.
Yeah, you talk about getting away with a pitch. That was the pitch that Kobe Lewis threw last night. The Suzuki hit a home run on. Davis was just out in front of it, and he pulled it foul. So, just because you throw a good pitch to hit doesn't mean the hitter's always going to get a hit on it.
Slowly hit towards third. Michael Young puts it in the pocket, throws and gets his man. Rangers 4, the Oakland A's 3. Jackpot worth $400 and dinner for 2 at Sonic. Good luck to Jamie Garcia from Denton. And if a Ranger hits the Grand Slam this inning, Jamie wins $25,000. And you can register at just about any North Texas Sonic restaurant. Now the Rangers surviving right now. 4-3 the score. The A's leaving the bases loaded in the top of the 6th. And now David Murphy showing bunt.
I had the third baseman back. Not a bad idea. Trying to get the leadoff man on. If the leadoff man does get on, Arias can bunt him over.
I like it when you draw that third baseman in and then just steer one right by him.
I like that too.
knock his Kuzman off. It's pretty good defensive third baseman over there, actually. Kevin Kuzmanoff, only 3 errors all last year. He was the everyday third baseman in San Diego.
He's very steady with an accurate arm. Good hands, good arm.
Murphy, then Arias, and then Mitch Moreland, who's making his big league debut tonight, playing first. Can also play the outfield. Murphy clobbers one to right field. Deep and gone. 5-3.
Slider down and in. My call was a little bit too early. Red guy, 1 inning.
Sonic slam winner. Jamie Garcia says it's the perfect time. And Murphy, but he doesn't hit too many, but when he hits them, he doesn't leave much doubt. Yeah, the 430-foot shot to center in Detroit. And you're right, Tag, he's buried that one here to lead off the 6th.
Yeah, David has a lot more power than the home run numbers would show. The ball jumps off his bat when he hits it good, and there was no doubt about that one. Just about the only doubt was where it was going to land. Slider, down and in. Maybe, yeah, borderline strike, not a terrible pitch. And David sure dropped the head of the bat on that one. See how far it did go. Did it go all the way over?
Well, it went top row.
Top row, maybe.
Arias sweeps it along to short. Laying back on it, cost him.
Exactly right. Arias busted it out of the box, was flying down the line. And Pennington really didn't do anything wrong. He just took a little bit too much time.
And the deer antlers have sprouted for Joaquin Arias.
That's earning a base hit right there with some speed.
And a meeting on the mound now. Mazzaro, not a huge pitch count, only 89 right now. They do have Brad Ziegler up in the bullpen, right-hander. And for Murphy, after that 427-foot home run officially in Detroit, we're told that one here, Tag, was 431.
Yeah, that went a long way.
Murph had been 2 for his last 22. And now here is the 24-year-old Mitch Moreland, the Mississippi native, and last year's Tom Grieve minor league player of the year in the Rangers system.
Well, Mitch appears to have a real nice, calm approach. Doesn't jump at the ball. Looks like he swings at strikes. Looks like he makes pretty good contact, too. A solid hitter. Saw a little bit of him in spring training. I'm just watching him through box scores throughout the course of the season. It's like he's coming on right at the right time to earn the call up.
Jamie Newberg, our buddy of the famed Newberg Report, wrote back in spring training, I think, that if Mitch Moreland ends up being Lyle Overbank, another college senior who was picked around the 17th round, that'd be just fine.
That'll be a pretty solid big leaguer.
And when you're picking in the 17th round, I don't know that you're expecting superstardom, although that's what the Rangers just might have unearthed with Ian Kinsler in that same round.
Well, it was close to being a strike.
Moreland, so far in his big league career, 1 for 2. Hitting that one well. Center field. Track. Wall. Caught by Crisp.
Oh, that's too bad. Hit that ball hard.
He homered yesterday for Okie City. He just about did it tonight as a Ranger.
Crisp has had a bad shoulder. Bumped into the wall enough to where he shake his arm a little bit. Boy, he gave that a ride. Almost got it. 3 good at bats, though. He had his first major league hit, a hard hit ball to right field, then hit a hard ground ball to first, and now a 400-foot line drive to left center that Crisp goes up and takes away from him. 3 good solid at bats for Mitch tonight.
Rammed foul by Teagarden. Lining into a double play in the second, striking out in the fourth. And Taylor's still trying to get that second hit of the year. It's been a long time waiting just for the opportunity. He was sent down, remember, just about a month into the season. And somehow was the number 4 guy in the All-Star balloting this year for American League catcher. Imagine if he'd had 2 hits then, you know.
He must have some friends that know how to stuff the ballot box pretty good.
Taylor smiles when you talk to him about that. I mean, he's embarrassed. He knows that 1 for whatever is not supposed to put you in contention for the All-Star game, but still, he said it was pretty cool. Open up the USA Today, and there's his name every time they ran the update. 6 Ranger All-Stars, as it turned out, and that is a team record. And amazingly, Michael Young was not among the 6. Into the crowd, and a pretty nice Thursday night gathering here tonight.
It's been a good homestand for attendance, that's for sure.
You bet. Next chance to see the Rangers not until August the 10th, unless you're out on the West Coast road trip with us. The Yankees are here that Tuesday, August the 10th, 7:05 game. It's a weird little 2-game midweek series, a Tuesday and a Wednesday, flanked by a couple of off days. And the Red Sox in that weekend, the 13th through the 15th. Five runs, 11 hits for the Rangers, 3 runs on 8 for the Oakland Athletics. And Arias goes. Teagarden drills one right field. That ball jumps to the track. That is gone for Teagarden.
He put a rocket on that thing. That went over the Ranger bullpen. Boy, that's 2 long home runs this inning. Taylor went the other way with that one. That was a long one, boy.
Well, if you're going to get your second hit, you got to wait till almost August to get it. You might as well hit it 420.
Yeah, that's a big hit, too. The A's had closed the gap to 4-3. 2 home runs and 3 runs this inning. Give the Rangers a little bit of a cushion. That makes a big smile on Taylor's face. I don't blame him.
Well, earlier this year, a lot of talk about 6 through 9 in the order coming up empty for the Rangers. Murphy, home run. Arias, infield hit. Moreland almost homered to center. And now Teagarden, 2-run homer to right. There's a pitching change upon us as the Rangers have extended that lead thanks to Teagarden. We'll take a break with our score 7-3 Texas. He had given up only a couple in his last 46 innings. He has now allowed a couple in this inning, and now he's no longer on the mound. Brad Ziegler is.
Long home runs, too. You won't see many right-hand hitters hit an outside pitch over the Ranger bullpen to right field.
Teagarden did that for his first big league homer since last August. And now Ziegler working to the top of the order. Elvis Andrus 0 for 3 tonight. Well, the A's got 2 in the top of the inning. The Rangers right back with 3 in the bottom. Ziegler always so tough on righties. He'll face a couple of them. Andrus, and then eventually, anyway, if not this inning. Oh, yeah, this inning it will be Young after that. Vladdy after Josh Hamilton.
Well, Mazzaro had been on a great roll, too. He was 4-0 in his last 5 starts with a 2.12 ERA. 6 straight quality starts. Well, the Ranger offensive output tonight pretty impressive when you consider how well Mazzaro has been pitching.
He pitched a 12-hitter tonight. I'm going to go out and check on Elvis to make sure he's okay.
Well, that pitch missed the plate by about 2 feet.
That brings up the part of the order here, Tag, that is a collective 6 for 6 tonight. Young and Hamilton. Remember, Michael homered in the first 3 games of that Angels series. Rangers ended up winning 3 out of 4. A 4-for-4 ball game for Michael. Andrus trips his way around second, heading to third. He's there. Josh Hamilton coming up.
They're 4 for 4 and 4 ropes. No bloopers, no choppers, no infield hits, just 4 hard hit balls.
See if Josh can simply keep up. Josh is merely 3 for 3. Michael's 4 for 4. Ground ball towards second. And Hamilton digging, but he is out. The double play. The A's have turned a couple of those. But the Rangers have hit a couple of home runs in this 6th inning. David Murphy went first. Taylor Teagarden followed. It is 7-3 Texas into 6. Ford is the best in Texas and by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. Did not expect a high-scoring affair tonight. It's been all pitching all series long. But tonight, the Ranger bats breaking out. Murphy, a long home run. Taylor Teagarden getting his first start since coming back from the minors. Launched one as well. The Rangers chasing Vin Mazzaro. They're leading 7-3. And now Darren O'Day as the A's bat in the 7th inning.
Well, Darren hasn't pitched in 4 days. He was working on a streak where he's pitching almost every day. So he earned the rest. He should be well rested now, though.
Things have gotten busy in this ball game over the last inning and a half or so. So it's simply 3-1 Texas into the bottom of the 5th. The A's will have 3, 4, 5 in their order in the top of the 7th. Here's Kurt Suzuki. Good player, boy. He had the home run against Colby Lewis yesterday. Real strong defensive catcher. And leads the A's in home runs.
The Rangers got out of a jam when Ogando got Davis to tap to third. Michael made a beautiful play to get out of the last inning with the bases loaded. That kind of set up the 4-run lead the Rangers have right now.
Suzuki, a harmless pop out. We go to Jim Knox.
Thanks, Josh. Time for the Progressive fan of the game. We got 3 little members of the Luke family from Fort Worth. Look at these signs, all great, but we like this one because it tells us exactly what to do. Pick me. This is Jared. Jared, you're the Progressive fan. Here's the hat. Here's the shirt. What do you have to say, buddy?
Go Rangers! And bring out the Yankees!
Congratulations. Good signs. We'll see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of the game. Job.
Love seeing the signs at the ballpark. Can't go wrong with a Sharpie and a quick trip down to Staples. Bring out the poster board and, yeah, you might get on TV. Might have Jim Knox come find you. It's an assignment for everybody for when the Yankees come to town, August 10th. Extra credit assignment. Kuzminoff line shot. There's Elvis Andrus, and there's 2 out.
Good at bats for Kuzminoff tonight. 2 hard hit doubles and now a line drive right at the shortstop.
They got to love the, in general, bounce back for the Rangers. Michael Young, I guess, kind of personifies that. Had a tough night at the plate last night. Tonight is 4 for 4. And tonight, when the Rangers have given up runs, they have come back the next half inning and scored more than they gave up.
Yeah, and you know, it's a big game when you're playing the second place team and it's a 2-game swing. A loss at 6.5, a win it's 8.5. It's definitely a game you want to win to make it 2 out of 3.
The A's are trying to stay relevant. And they're approaching that trade deadline, and their fans want to believe. It's a lot easier to believe when you're 6.5 out as opposed to 8.5. We talked earlier, Tom, about the Rangers only averaging about 2.5 runs on this homestand. Well, they got 3 runs in the 6th inning alone tonight. Rosales trying to check. He did not check his swing. And litters the home plate area with sporting goods right there. Was not real pleased with the result right there. Dropped the helmet, dropped the bat, but Darren O'Day has done his job. It's 7-3. started it tonight, and it's in the capable hands of the bullpen now. Our Cabot Woodstein legendary performance, almost to the anniversary of the Jim Bibby no-hitter against these Oakland A's. Jim passed away this past winter. First no-hitter in franchise history. Bibby and Fergie Jenkins in 1974. In a 162-game season, Tom, they started 82 of those 162 games, those guys.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned this before. In the last game of the season, Bibby was 19-19, and he was sick. And Fergie, on 2 days rest, asked Billy Martin for the ball, went out and beat the Twins and won his 25th game on 2 days rest.
The numbers on Henry Rodriguez, who is coming on for the A's now, third pitcher they've used tonight. Between Bibby and Jenkins that year, 40 complete games.
Wow.
That ain't happening these days. Outfield a step back against Vladimir Guerrero. You can't blame him.
I wonder if there's been a year in the last 10 years where a league didn't have 40 complete games.
You know what? I bet that's
it might be close.
Yep. Computer's running slow tonight. I'd look that up for you, but I'm just going to say kind of old school. Yeah, I think you might be right, Teg. Well, the Rangers were happy to get 5 2/3 from C.J. Wilson tonight.
Big time heat from Henry Rodriguez.
After Guerrero, he gets Cruz and Murphy. Murphy last time up hit the long home run.
99 with that one. Been a little bit erratic. He's walked 7 in 7 2/3. He struck out 8. A lot of potential when you've got this kind of arm strength.
Well, Vladdy tonight, RBI ground out, and then the 0-2 RBI base hit into right field. The one hit he's actually gotten tonight. Scooping that one in the air towards right field. And Carson puts it away out number 1. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the Braves and the Reds, a possible playoff preview. Tigers will be in Boston. Great rivalry, the Dodgers and the Giants. Check your local listings. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Taco Bell. This week at 3 Central on Fox. Nelson Cruz in the air center field. Coco crisp. Shy of the track. Boy, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and Nelly almost hit it up there on the hill. Brings up Murphy, who hit it almost to the concession line in right field, way back in the bleachers. Murphy tees off again, and this one not about to get out. Quick 9-pitch inning for Henry Rodriguez. The Rangers hit 3 fly balls, and now the top of the 8th on the way. Burleson Youth Baseball. For more info on Chevy's commitment to Youth League Baseball, go to ChevyTexasBaseball.com. 6-7-8 for the A's in the top of the 8th inning. The Rangers 7 runs on 13 hits tonight, and they've played errorless baseball. Oakland 3-8-0, and they have left 8 men on base. Towards right. Nelson Cruz has got it. A reminder, folks, the Rangers Stretch Drive season ticket promotion ends tomorrow at 5 Central. You can reserve seats for the final 24 home games of the year. 5 of those against the Yankees, 3 of them against the Red Sox. You save a lot of money. You got the option of purchasing your same tickets for playoff games if there are some. TexasRangers.com or call first thing tomorrow, 972 Rangers. I think one subtle thing, Tag, about winning this game tonight, the Rangers would take this series 2-1 and maybe vaporize the thought, or at least just kind of still the thought a little bit, of the A's having the Rangers number. Because coming into tonight, they had won 14 of the last 20 games against the Rangers going back to last year. If the Rangers indeed win this one tonight, you go, well, yeah, maybe, but we just took you 2 out of 3 and we're up 8.5. Rangers have had Darren Oliver loosening this inning. And now it's not going to be Matt Carson. It's going to be Matt Watson. They're both outfielders. One's a lefty, one's a righty. Watt instead of Carr, but everything else is the same. No, one's a lefty, one's a righty, and one's got a big Amish beard and the other doesn't. But
pretty efficient for Darren. 14 pitches, 5 outs already. Twice in there for the 2nd inning.
11 of his first 14 pitches had been strikes. Well, between Ogando and O'Day, it's been 6 straight Oakland A's retired. The Rangers lineup tonight featuring Arias, Moreland, and Teagarden. And all 3 of those guys have come through. On a night that Ian Kinsler was headed to the DL, and Jorge Cantu, we have learned, is on his way in. Big doings in Rangerland. In the meantime, the machine just keeps on spitting out potential wins here. Getting close tonight. Leading 7-3. Energy. An hour of energy now, no 2:30 feeling later. And by The Other Guys, starring Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, in theaters August 6th. Checking out the Rangers on a warm Thursday night, and watching the Rangers taking a 4-run lead into the bottom of the 8th inning. A new pitcher to tell you about. We'll do that in just a moment. Some defensive changes, too. Joaquin Arias takes up and outside. This is Ross Wolf on the mound. He came over from the Orioles in that deal that the A's made for Jake Fox about a month ago. 2-hopper to short off the bat of Arias. Changes in the outfield, too. Matt Watson stays in the game. He's in left. That bumps Rajai Davis to right. All right, now take 4 for Mitch Moreland. He is 1 for 3 to this point in the big leagues. Hustling here from Oklahoma City today. That was a move straight up roster-wise. It was Kinsler to the DL. And Mitch Moreland here. Of course, one's a first baseman / outfielder. The other's a second baseman. And the Rangers will have to make a move tomorrow when Jorge Cantu will be added to the active roster. Rangers trading for Cantu earlier today. That had been a much rumored thing for a couple of days. Procedurally, the Rangers bringing up Brandon McCarthy and then sticking him on the 60-day.
That gets him off the 40-man roster.
Another base hit for Mitch Moreland, a 500 major league hitter.
He's had 4 good at-bats. He's hit the ball on the ground to the right side 3 times well, and best hit ball of the day was an out. That was the 400-foot line drive that Chris caught at the wall in center field. Good solid at-bats.
Was sitting very close to 290 at AAA. 2 of his 12 home runs were hit just in the last few days, right before coming up. And now Taylor Teagarden. Boy, and good for Taylor, that last at bat. When he took that swing, he was 1 for 29 for the year. Then he just crushed a 2-run home run.
Oh, and he makes contact with the ball on the good part of the bat. The ball jumps off his bat. They hit this ball, who knows, 425 feet over the Ranger bullpen on a pitch down and away. That's a long home run to right field for a right-hand hitter.
Taylor down on strikes this time. We go to Dana Larson.
Well, Josh, this is definitely a day you will want to hang around for a full recap. We will talk much, of course, about the game. Also, the roster moves, the impact of the trade the Rangers made today. Lots of that coming up, including Steve Busby answering your text, the analyst questions. Plus, please visit our website, foxsportssouthwest.com, for Dallas Cowboys training camp news. It's been a very busy day. We'll have a packed post game and hope to see you there.
Thank you, Dana. Yes, indeed. We do invite everybody to stick around. There is a lot of Ranger news right now off field. Overwhelmingly positive. Obviously, the Kinsler to the DL thing, a little bit jarring. But a lot of excitement about bringing in Jorge Cantu. You stop short of calling anyone a missing piece or, the last piece or anything like that. But Benji Molina, Cliff Lee, Jorge Cantu all brought on board in the last month or so. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think each one of those trades, the Rangers went out, identified a spot on the team they wanted to get better at, and they went out and acquired a guy that fit the bill. And you really have to applaud the Ranger front office for these kind of moves in a pennant race to go out and do it, especially when you don't have the money to spend. And that speaks to the depth that the Rangers have in the farm system. Because when you force the other team to pay the salary for the player they trade, you've got to give them better players to make them do it. And the Rangers have had the players that they feel they can afford to trade to make these deals. There's still a lot of good players left in the Ranger farm system.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you build up that stockpile. And then when it's time to barter, which is essentially what the trade deadline is, you're You're dipping down into your reserves, trying to get something else. So the more you have in your stockpile, the better. And the Rangers, as Baseball America keeps telling us every year, they're, if not the deepest, they're one of the top 2.
Well, this proves it, because there's a lot of other teams that wanted the same players, especially Cliff Lee. The Rangers are the one that got him.
Elvis going to try to beat this out, but the fastball is thrown over there by Wolf to end the inning. The Rangers need 3 more outs, and they'll have taken this series against the Oakland A's. Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. By Progressive, for a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. And by the Ford F-150, check out the 2010 F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Ranger hits tonight. They only trailed 1-0 very briefly. Top of the first inning, the A's grabbed the lead. The Rangers took over from there. Frankie Francisco will try to close it down now. Check the numbers on Frankie, and we note there's a new second baseman in the game as well. Joaquin Arias is out, and the more heralded defensive player, Andres Blanco, is in. Cliff Pennington from the number 9 spot in the order tonight has been a bit of a problem. RBI double, and he's been hit by a pitch. This is C.J. Wilson's game to win. And if indeed the Rangers hang on here, it'll be C.J. It is the first Ranger to 10 wins here in 2010. And how fitting. That's the guy that pushed his way into the rotation with that very strong spring. And simply the statement that he believed he could get the job done. He had some kind ears willing to listen to that, and nobody really disagreed with it. It was just a matter of where he was going to better serve the whole, better serve the collective. 8th inning guy, the setup guy out there in the bullpen, or do you move him into the rotation? Looks like a great move because he's on line for win number 10.
It's a lot easier to find a setup reliever than it is a top of the rotation starter. And for me, if you've got the talent to be a top of the rotation starter, that's where you should be. I think CJ's right where he should be. He definitely, as a relief pitcher, he wasn't just a 95-mile-an-hour guy with a fastball and nothing else. He had a wide assortment of pitches.
Frankie gets a Pennington pop-up out number 1. Well, the Rangers will have a handful of 9-win guys and now a 10-win guy if Frankie can seal the deal. Coco Crisp has walked a couple times. Right here, you'll take a strike. The Rangers trying to get to 18 games above 500. That would tie for the high water mark of the year. And this would be win number 60. The odometer will spin in 2 outs. The 60 wins is a great start. That ball skipping into center. Coco Crisp stays hot here in this series. Obviously, as we talk about long-suffering Ranger fans, and Tom, since you've been around for 43 of the 44 years, going back to the Washington era of the franchise, those who were in Arlington to welcome the Senators in '72, they never got to 60 wins that year. They won 54. Then in '73, it was up to 57. And right now, the Rangers looking to go to 60 and 42.
Well, it's definitely tough times for winning ball games back then.
Runner goes, and no throw. Crisp just trotting to second base on defensive indifference. The Rangers have won 95 games once. That was in '99. That was Josh Hamilton's prediction after Nolan Ryan had predicted 92. Josh kind of one-upping the boss, saying, well, I think we can do 95. And right now, the pace is for right in between that. As you said in not so many words the other day, Tom, just whatever it takes to be one game up on October 3rd. Davis deposits it into left. Another tough out in this series. He's going to cut this thing to 7-4. On 0-2, he gets it done. That's the second 0-2 base hit for the Oakland A's tonight, and now you steer towards the middle of that Oakland order. And now the Ranger bullpen will stir behind Frankie Francisco.
That was a splitter that didn't split. The only thing that split was the center of the plate.
It is now a save situation, and Neftali Feliz will get ready. Rangers about to head to Anaheim. Neftali was in Anaheim as part of the All-Star game. Never did get in. Had that game gone extra innings, you bet he would have gotten in. And Ian Kinsler almost forced extra innings in that one. That drive to right died on the warning track. Ground ball, second base. Blanco's got it. Running at the runner here. There's one out, and here's how the ball game can end. And they can tag this man. We'll say it. Ball game. 7-4 the final. The Rangers take 2 out of 3. It's a weird way for the thing to come to its end. But the Rangers do turn 2. They do win 2 in a 3-game series. Taylor Teagarden had a homer. David Murphy had a homer. And the Rangers have that 60th win. And you know what else they've got is an 8.5 game lead heading out on the road.
The Rangers have won every series since the All-Star break. 3 out of 4, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, and 2 out of 3.
Well, the bullpen was very solid again. No errors made tonight behind the pitchers, whoever they were. And the Rangers indeed now 8.5 games up on the A's. They're a full 9 up on the Angels, who are, weirdly enough, at 52 and 52 now. A lot of heroes tonight, but only one guy had his first 2 big league hits. That's Mitch Moreland, and he's standing by with Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Josh. Mitch Moreland, quite a game, making your major league debut. You get not 1 but 2 hits. How did it feel?
Felt great, you know. Kind of jittery that first time up, but got up there and got in a good count and managed to get one through there.
Oh, also got Also got your first cream pie. How does that feel?
Thank you. Feels great.
Feels great. There we go. Well, congratulations, Mitch, on the big night. There we go. Go get cleaned up, buddy. Thanks, Josh.
The maximum on post-game questions now is 1 because Blanco and Andres, they're just too quick. Well, all right, he's now officially one of the guys. And he had a hand in it tonight. A little sweet talk there, too, as it turned out. The Rangers win, and Mitch Moreland's family is not unhappy that just happened. That's a very cool night for Moreland and the Rangers. Again, your final tonight, 7-4, Rangers Live straight ahead when we come back.